I'd want
What are
him to
we
talk
gonna
about it.
do? What are
Nothing
we gonna do?
and nothing.
Okay.
Go to Magic. Speaking of Magic, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pit Against a weekly live Flesh and Blood call-in show. I'm William Table and Legs, and I'm joined by my constant co-host Kevin Smurf Murphy. Kevin, what's up?
What's up?
Pit Against is a live call-in show. If you'd like to be live on air talking to us about your hot take, join the Pit Against Discord by clicking on the link that's in the description. Then join the waiting room channel and put your hot take in the topics text channel. If we like your take, we'll pull you on for a mic check and then put you on air. You can also put a take in the topics channel, in the stream chat, or in the comments for me to bring up if you want. If you cannot make it on, that is the best I have ever said that. Kevin, I said what's up, and you said what's up. But like, how are you doing right now?
I'm good. Why did you why did you say it like that?
My
You said
man,
that like you were concerned.
or how is the Smurfab YouTube channel doing right now?
It's doing all right. It's been a little quiet just because like I haven't had a bunch of stuff to upload, but
I guess what I'm trying to hit at, and I'm stop beating around the bush, is LSS sent you an email, and I thought that was really exciting.
they did. They are letting me spoil a card from Super Slam. So,
And he's gonna debut it right here.
no.
Fair enough.
No.
All right, what day is
In
it? What day is it?
exactly 4 weeks.
In exactly 4 weeks, which is
Yes.
You said was it the
September
11th?
11th.
Yes, September 11th. Perfect.
Yep.
That's great.
Uh, September 12th in New Zealand.
September
There we
12th
go.
in New Zealand. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
So I guess let's see. What are we talking about on the show today? Were there any new cards that were interesting that have been spoiled? There's been a few cards spoiled since last time. I know
The last
one of
2 weeks, yeah.
one of them was Riptide Specialization, which is cool.
It's neat.
Uh, take
Probably not
take
gonna
the
do
ALS. Take
Yeah,
the bait
something like that.
LSS ALS.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Take
neat.
the bait, shatter.
That's
Like
pretty good.
it's an interesting card.
Yeah.
Bait is obviously forces any trap that you have to trigger. Because it is both go again a reaction and power greater than its base. Um, and then you get to search for a card and you put it on top of your deck, which like is fine if you're gonna codex and like get draw into the card or something like that. Some people have
Mm-hmm.
talked about what is it? Sansour Great Bow, where you can pull the arrow off the top of your deck. So if you have a blue,
Oh.
you can like grab Murky Water, it automatically gets the aim counter, and then that happens.
There's also something you could do
Um,
with the other quiver, the non-abyssal depth quiver, right?
Rustling Leaves, yeah,
Yeah.
you could use that one. But you run into resource issues with that one
Yeah.
compared to Great Bow. And then what was the other?
I think the cool
I mean, you can
part
just get whatever trap, but
is
like
actually just the bait, where it's like you cannot
Codex
play
of
or
Inertia.
activate cards you own. I
Yep.
feel like a lot of Kanos are going to want to hold priority when take the bait hits the stack, right? Like,
Yes, they sure are.
other than that, there's
It also stops all D reacts from being played that turn.
which is great, and Riptide
So
loves
you
that.
just
Oh,
play that and you
yeah,
send something for like 13, and then
it's
they're
pretty
just
good.
like,
Pretty good.
what?
There's another
But
specialization, and there were two armory decks. I don't know if you're interested in talking about those.
I think the Kasai one is really good. I think
Bloodfall's
anyone who's
Blade.
Yeah, I think anyone who's saying this gets blown out by a D react is too scared and
That's
doesn't understand that you don't block the first Kasai swing. You just play this when you don't activate Kasai,
hmm
and you get a free Cell Sword. And this is like a two card like 10 or something.
It's really good.
It's swing for two, swing for two, swing for three, so we're at seven, plus
Codex of
Dynamos
Inertia.
is eight, plus Cell Sword health is 10.
Well, it's Sellsword health is nebulous because like I mean the average
It's minimum two.
it's minimum two, right? So like this was
Yeah.
something I forgot who I was talking about. I was talking to somebody about it. Like a Flesh and Blood card in this day's economy is like worth 4 value. And so like any out like Rigor Mortis has a health of 4 sometimes, right? Because you just
Yeah.
attack it with the metaphorical like snatch or Scar for a Scar. And so the 1 health, it doesn't matter as much because you had to spend 4 points of value on it. So allies are just good. They're just good. Especially when they're like fairly on rate or already above rate. So Bloodfall's Blade gives a sword go again and create a sellsword. The fact that it
does everything.
Psi specialization is expected, but also like very good.
I mean, I think honestly the bigger thing is that this also gives go again, because that gives your sellsword go again.
Yeah,
inherently.
Yeah, because you've attacked with a weapon.
No, because you've.
What's the condition on sellsword?
It's
hit
right
with
here,
weapon
right?
Or attack with weapon?
If you've attacked with a weapon this turn. So the weapon just has to have go again. Yeah. But no, like that entire react is like just everything in one package. It also curves super cleanly because it's 0 cost. If it was 1 cost, it would be substantially worse.
Blocks 3
because you need an extra resource. Yeah, like that's a really.
Charlie says
that's a really good card.
They've announced a bunch of Shiana cards.
Yes.
Talashar's a sword.
Most of which probably won't see play.
Talashar's a sword.
It is a sword.
And you can give it go again.
Go again, and then create a sellsword.
That's great, actually.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Exactly.
That's
also,
fair.
take the bait is like actually completely fine as well. No, it's not.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You don't have any of the traps, right?
True. No, they're all Riptide specialization. You just go get collapsing trap.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, they are. Riptide
my
specs.
goodness,
Okay.
that's you can play them in.
Legendary.
You can play take the bait in Shiana. That's so great, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's. I mean, I guess you can just buzzsaw trap people
it's fun, is what it is.
Spike pit trap people. Okay.
All right.
That actually might be more playable than I thought.
Yeah. All right. So what are we talking about now? Do we have any? Anyone in the waiting room? Do you want to go grab somebody?
Sure.
Do you want to go grab somebody, or do you have something else we want to talk about first?
I don't have anything to talk about, but it's just they say these are more nuanced, but they've got like 5 paragraphs, and it didn't feel like it got any more nuanced.
I can talk about something that I wanted to talk about.
I apologize, but like none of this. I'll go grab it.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk it out. We'll talk it out.
Yeah.
And while he's grabbing them, I can remind you that it could be you that he's grabbing. You could get grabbed by SmurphFab. If you go to the link that's in the description of this video, it is a Discord link to the Pit Against Discord, which is just a tool to allow us to talk to you live on air about your hot takes. You can say things like Prism's no good, and Kevin can berate you for 30 minutes. Or you can say something like Assassin's real good, and then me and you can just have a grand old time. Actually, those takes wouldn't get you on. You got to have a hot take like what this person has. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, Brandon calling from Madison, Wisconsin.
Let's go. Sup, Brandon? What would you like to talk about on the show?
Yeah. So, post about it in the calling topics channel. I think it's a hot take.
Sure.
But there are 4 decks that I think are fantastic for the growth of the game.
Okay.
They're great onboarding experiences. They're flashy. They're cool, but they are lazy designs. And I don't just mean that they're carbon copy aggro decks. So the 4 decks are Syndra, Fang, Aurora, Slippy.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of people who just boil them down to 0 for X go again decks, and that's all they are. We know there's much more nuance to each of these decks. There's skill expression involved and so on. But from a new player standpoint, they all look the same. They are some flavor of aggro deck that goes burr, and those are attractive to new players.
Okay.
I think where my hot take is going, now that I'm saying this out loud, is that LSS is leaning really, really hard on these designs and it's just going to keep power creeping the boring aggro decks, the just carbon copy-ish aggro decks with a few new mechanics. And that's good for the growth of the game, but I think it is bad design long term when there's so much more mechanical room to be explored.
Okay, so
I'm gonna start with Timothy in chat, who said Starvo was a great new player experience. Shut up.
so
Shut up.
I'm gonna take something you said though, in that we know that these decks are more nuanced than they appear on the surface, right?
Yep. Yes.
So what makes them lazy if they're more nuanced than they are on the surface?
Because it's very easy to, we can make any number of theoretical heroes that have head jabs plus something, head jabs plus draconic interaction, head jabs plus instance with Aurora, or turn your weapons into head jabs with Fang, and then your nuance there is the question of, do I have a +2 react, a +3, or a +4? And if you guess wrong, you die. Slippy falls into that as well, where Slippy is 0 for 3, go again 2-3 times a turn, and then you just have to guess what reaction they have. There's only so far that design space can go, and we've seen much more interesting heroes that are able to get people in the game. Like, we have people who are joining the game for Gravy, and Gravy is not a straightforward deck by any means. He's not a straightforward aggro deck. He has complicated lines. He has nuance to him, significant amounts of nuance, and he's also pretty difficult to master. And I think that's where design time should be spent, rather than another head jab deck that has 1 or 2 extra layers on top to differentiate it, and then add the nuance on top of that. Does that make sense?
So there's a few things in there.
Yes.
How many people are getting into the game because of Aurora compared to Gravy? Or got into the game because of Aurora versus now are getting into the game because of Gravy?
Hypothetically.
Yeah. That I don't know. My instinct is that probably more for Aurora.
Okay.
But she was also a first strike deck, didn't have the buy-in requirement of an armory deck, and also been around longer, but we'll assume that we're talking trajectory, not raw numbers.
Yeah.
I would say probably Aurora.
Okay. Why is it a bad thing that the game has these decks?
I don't think it's a bad thing that it has these decks. I think there is just a worrying trend that is the standard for every set now, is every set is going to have 1 or 2 of those heroes. High Seas seeming to have been the exception so far.
Is Marlin at least recently. One of those?
No, Marlin is not one of those.
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Is Super Slam going to have one of those?
To be seen. If there is, it would be Tough Nut, but in a different direction, not just head jab go again with something on top, but Tough Nut would be more like almost like a regular Guardian style, just send a big attack, relax, don't have to worry about too big of numbers. Like, I don't think Tough Nut's going to be simple. So the trend may have broken with High Seas, but just looking at, I've been in the game for only about a year and 8 months now, so not terribly long.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But coming over from Magic, it was a huge turnoff for me when I started the game, is that the learn to play deck was Ira, and it was just head jabs go again. And then I joined right in MST, and it was Zen, who was obviously way more complex than this, but to someone who's just seeing the game for the first time, head jabs go again. And then we had Aurora. So maybe I guess really it's been 1 per set, and then Hunted we had 3 if you're willing to put Fang in that category.
So I'll say I could. The interesting thing about the Ira welcome deck is I played it once to learn the game, and then I came back to it a year later to show someone how to play the game, and I just mopped the floor with them because I assumed it'd just be kind of like close because it's such a simple deck.
It's the Ira deck.
And then like I came back to it a year after that when somebody was like, "Hey, do you want to just jam Ira versus Ira?" And then it's like we're sitting there like taking like 5-minute turns, and we're like, "Oh." Like it's like some of the most deep Flesh and Blood we've played in a long time. Actually, Crack Shuffle Play Mastery Pack Guardian feels the same way, where it's like surprisingly deep. But there's still like some like funny moments. Like we played a UPF game where somebody died to one of the Clash cards. Clash and you lose your life. Bird.
Yep.
It was great. But I think head jab dot deck is one, it's much more difficult than it ever appears, and there's a lot you can get out of it playing against it and playing as it, because one, Flesh and Blood is like, it's more of a game plan overarching kind of game in that sense, where it's like there's more to be extracted out of every deck, right?
Yes. Like as you said, there are extra layers just beyond sending head jabs to all of these decks. So like, and then, because to me there's two, even within what the decks you're saying, there's two categories. There's the Syndra Aurora type, and then there's the Fang Slippy type.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fang Slippy type is another thing where it's like, yeah, they have attack reactions. That's gonna make the new player. That's gonna be a slightly worse new player experience in some ways to play against. But like, that doesn't mean the deck is unhealthy for the game. All of this comes back to, for me, Flesh and Blood is at its core a numbers game because you're drawing 4 cards every turn, which means everything becomes super consistent relative to other trading card games.
Yep.
And then design space gets limited not because of the hero design, but because you're drawing 4 cards every turn. So it's like, what can they do with those 4 cards every turn? And we see now that they're like actually finally pushing it with Tough Nut being 3 intellect, but his hero ability kind of makes him 4. And then Lyeth being 5, but with a serious drawback on his 5 where you have to like build around it. Like, that's them actually pushing the design boundary. But Slippy and Fang don't fit in the same category as Syndra and Aurora, who felt fairly face up in the way they played the game. Whereas like Fang, you weren't sure if it was going to be 2 here or 4 here or 5 here or 6 here, or if the other one, the second dagger, is going to start on 4, or if it's going to start on 1, or if it's going to go to 7. Like, that's not a great new player experience, but like, that's also just Flesh and Blood. It doesn't, because like, you put a person who's been playing the game for a year on the Ira Welcome deck against somebody who hasn't played the game at all, and it's going to look completely different. Like,
and I think that actually hits on one of my problems with them, with those being. I think that actually hits on one of my problems because, like you said, when you go back and play the Ira deck as someone who really knows the game, you are going to slaughter a new player. They won't have a chance. And that's one of the things, like the Ira starter deck nearly turned me off of the game. Like my husband and I did the Learn to Play at PAX East last year, and I came from a decade of playing, Doomsday and Magic and Jewel combo and very intense artifact decks, Lantern Control, very, very high complexity decks. And so when I came to learn Flesh and Blood, and the Learn to Play was, your second attack gets +1. Obviously, we know how powerful that is now. That's a massively powerful ability. But when you're drawing in new players from things like Magic, then you're not really giving them anything that's that exciting. And when they look and see that, Syndra, Fang, Arachne, or Slippy, Aurora, Slippy and Fang have attack reacts, new as well, and that's literally their entire game plan. But a new player isn't really going to understand the importance of that. They're just going to see it's pay 0, attack, go again, pay 0, attack, go again, pay 0, attack, go again arsenal. And I think Gravy is proving that we can pull in a lot more people and have a much better new player experience, and have a good new player experience, even with the more mechanically pushing in decks.
Okay.
So I think there's a difference between the people who get into the game and want to play Gravy and the people who are playing the Ira Precon or the Bravo Precon. They're both new players. Yep. Like, they've both been playing for or they're both within the bracket of I just started in the last 3 months. But the Ira one is, this is my first game of Flesh and Blood. And the Gravy one is, this is my 5th game of Flesh and Blood. Which a lot changes in 5 games. Like, when you play Go for the first time, you have no idea what you're doing. But if you were to literally go to this is a bad example because we live in North America, but if you were to go to a Go locals and just play for 4 or 5 hours, you would. There's a ranking system, and they typically start new players at 25 Q. You'd probably go up to 15 in 4 or 5 hours of playing the game. You just learned a few basic fundamentals, and you're like, okay, let me try something a little more difficult. And so in that sense, Ira is the thing that people learn the game on, and then Gravy is what gets people addicted. It's more, they're not in the same category, is what I would say.
There's also,
and I will, go ahead.
There's also a difference in the players that you're going to track to the game with Gravy and that you're going to get hooked on the game with Gravy are not the players that you're going to get hooked on the game with Aurora.
Yes.
And I say that as somebody who got hooked on the game because of Icelander.
It's also interesting because I feel like both of those people could get into the game on Ira because the Aurora player is I play all the cards out of my hand, and then the person who's getting in because of Gravy will eventually get in because of Gravy, or just I get to put the cards on the bottom of my deck every turn. Okay, now I see how I can break this game.
I played 5 for the first 2 months that I played this game. But the entire time I was still watching Icelander and learning Icelander. I got into the game because of Icelander, and I used Phi to learn the rules of the game. These are not mutually exclusive things. The people who are getting in because of Lantern Control, or who were Lantern Control players, excuse me, are going to be attracted to the Gravy type decks, I assume, or I'm guessing. I was not a Magic player, but the players who were Mono Red or Izzet players,
I feel like you
can easily get in on Aurora.
You don't have a learn to play deck that's as difficult as Gravy, or it would just be Gravy. It would just be CC. It wouldn't be learn to play.
That's just the Gravy Armory deck.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Yeah. Well, and I'm absolutely biased in this.
Sure.
I know I am, because I learned to play Magic on the Mizzix of the Magnus Storm Commander Precon, sitting down in a CEDH pot. That's how I learned Magic, and I got slaughtered. And I was like, "That was cool. How do I play the Gitrog monster?" Same thing. Flesh and Blood. I built Arachne, and not solitary confinement. Arachne. Contract Arachne Blitz. Yeah, because I buddy said, "Hey, you like weird off-meta Magic decks where you rip cards off the top of the opponent's deck? You're not going to win a tournament, but you'll have fun, and they probably won't, right?" And I'm like, that's a weird question.
That's what I
but
want.
Yeah.
Amen. More of that,
but
please.
Yeah, and he just sent me the Arachne Huntsman hero card and said, "Okay, you're going to come play Flesh and Blood," and brought Arachne Blitz, and I sat down against New Prism, and I got ALS locked on turn 1, and I said, "Cool, how do I play that?" So I'm absolutely the type person that any sort of aggro deck in Flesh and Blood just doesn't really appeal to me. So I do admit to having that bias for sure. Part of this, part of the take is influenced by the other half of the hot take, which I don't think is really that hot of a take, frankly. But the 2 or 3 card combo, or decks that just any deck in Flesh and Blood that has a 2 card or possibly 3 card combo that can flat out win or essentially win a game on the spot is getting way too close.
Way too close to what? Did we lose him? Are you there? I'm gonna read chat mainly because Tim wants to keep his #1 spot. Lantern was a lockout deck. Oh, I love the concept of Lantern.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, like
That's basically what Huntsman is, which is funny.
that's what Huntsman is trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is you're just trying to
yeah.
But you can only see one of their cards that they draw out of 4 instead of every card that they draw.
It was funny because what I was about to ask.
Gone.
Oh, he's gone. He might come back. Yeah, he's back. I have one more question to ask him, which is an ironic question. Are you there? He's back. He made a noise.
Hey, there we go.
There he is.
Yep,
What
sorry, I
pack
lost audio.
should I buy first? I don't know. What do you think, Roswell? What pack should I buy first?
Don't buy packs.
The
go to your
Ira
locals and play the welcome decks,
yeah.
or see if they have decks that you can borrow.
Go to a Armory event at your local game store.
Yes.
What pack should I buy first? Packs are for drafting.
See if they have a Discord so that you can message them first.
Yes. Too. Yes. See if there's a local Discord. You can ask on Reddit.
Yes.
If you could DM me and then I can find out what there's a list of community Discords, and you can just talk to people about getting into Flesh and Blood. But packs are gambling, and the house always wins. So don't gamble, kids.
I'm the house.
You are the house.
My first pack of Flesh and Blood was a Marvel Sandscoured Great Bow.
What was my first pack?
You gambled and won.
Rage's first pack of Flesh and Blood was he bought a box of Welcome to Wraith, and he got a unlimited Heart of Fyendel, and then sold that and bought like 4 more boxes or something.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like a year into me playing Flesh and Blood before I bought a pack. I'm gonna be straight up.
Okay, you said you had a question?
Oh yeah, I had a question. What was the original hot take? I already forgot. Something. These decks are bad, and I forgot.
Not bad.
Syndra
Not bad.
Fangs, the Aurora lazy design.
Okay.
Yep.
If
lazy foundational design.
Lazy foundational design.
Not the entire package with the nuance that we know as as experienced players, but for a new player, for the new player experience, we have enough of the 0-for-4, 0-for-3 head jab go again decks.
So I guess
can trust the player base with something heavier.
I guess my question was, what's the problem? Because like some people want boring decks, and maybe lazy design is good.
They want simpler.
They want simple.
Yes. This is not.
I play all 4
me,
cards.
This is not a question of like good versus like. This doesn't sound like it. This is a good deck versus a bad deck. This sounds like this is a simpler deck to get to the 80% mark, is the way we usually put it, than to get to 80% on gravy.
I feel like,
but that to me is not an inherently bad thing for the game to have. If
you're trying to get your friend into Flesh and Blood, you should know your friend a little bit and be able to either direct them to the Slippy Armory deck or the Gravy Armory deck.
Yes, or the Aurora Armory deck.
You can't play Aurora.
LL.
You can at your kitchen table.
You can at your kitchen table. Actually, that's a great point, and I forgot about that and feel bad.
This is why I keep all the Armory decks in a battle box.
That's sick. I wish I had that money. It's not much money, but I wish I had not much money.
It's actually like $300 now.
Holy frick.
There's like 8 Armory decks now. They're all $40.
Oh my goodness.
Some of them are still trash.
Am I off base when I say that? Huckler? Brandon Huckler? Okay.
No, and to be clear, I'm not saying that any of those decks are boring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, they're boring to me. But
sure, no, that's fine.
I would not say they are categorically boring decks or that they are poorly designed decks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a bad thing to have them. I would just like to see more and it does seem like we are. I would like to see more new player onboarding that is something beyond a simple aggro deck, because there are so many of them right now, and there are a lot of players who are going to be much more in like I know there are people out there, because I've talked to them, who wanted to try Flesh and Blood because they saw the Max Armory deck and had no interest in the Aurora Armory deck. Now,
I'm so sorry.
Maybe if they knew more about Max's viability, they change their mind.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I think we're gonna see it with Canadians too, right?
I think I push back a bit, because I feel like the fact that we have Armory decks for heroes like Gravy, that kind of is a bit of a new player onboarding experience, and then also the next teach a player how to play the game deck is Bravo, which naturally has some, like, he's pretty straightforward, like Guardians can be, but also, like, you have to have some amount of, you're going to get to your second cycle, unlike the,
yes.
Well, I mean, even in the Ira one, you get to your second cycle, so, like,
yeah, and it also teaches you keywords like crush, it teaches you how to use your arsenal, just moving things around zones. So I do think that, we might be headed in the right direction. So again, it's more of a concern with what I saw coming in as a new player to the game.
Sure.
It does look like things are on a different track now, but those decks should still exist in some capacity for the Magic equivalent of people who love mono red burn and goblins and the white weenies and the like tiny aggro decks, or the fast aggro decks, right?
True.
Yeah.
And they should come out with the Huntsman Armory deck.
Yes.
Right, Kevin?
Oh, yes, please.
They gotta fix some shit for that one, but maybe.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for the call. Anything you want to shout out?
Nope. Just Huntsman, still the best hero in the game.
Absolutely.
Still my favorite hero.
Yep.
Yeah. I got rewarded. I went to a Prague World Premiere. My first pack was a Marvel Huntsman. So
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Flesh and Blood know how to write up the storylines. Stack the packs. Thank you so much for the call. We'll catch you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Heck yeah. Bye. That was interesting. And I this was one more thing that I wanted to say, and I feel like I do say this sometimes, is sometimes it's not as much of a hot take that we're breaking it down, and it feels more like an argument on this show. But the point of, like, the term argument, like, especially in the sense of like a debate, is not it's not a negative thing.
Debate is a better term for it.
Debate's
because
a better
doesn't
term.
come with the negative connotation.
I think that's an
argument
American
tends to
thing,
have.
and I hate that.
Probably. Like, I don't think argument should necessarily have a negative connotation, the negative connotation on it that it does, but it does.
Yes, it does.
But no, this is the reason we do this, is to have these discussions where we're not limited by the 240 characters on Bluesky or the rate at which someone can type in chat.
Yeah. Though if y'all want to argue in chat, I think it's really funny hearing you keyboard warriors go off on each other. I love that. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about, unless we get a caller, which I think is completely all right, is one thing I was going to go on about, is I was going to talk about, and this is probably less a discussion and more of like a William rant on the content grants.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that last time.
No, we didn't do that. We had so many. Right. We had two callers and we talked 30 minutes to each of them, and it was great.
I mean, that's what we usually do. We just talk 30 minutes to him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Actually, so I think
go point by point.
So I'm gonna go off points of things that I've been talking about, things that I've heard people say, and then we can talk about them individually if there's much to talk about. But with the content creator grants that they are handing out, so what they are doing, LSS is going to give 5 content creators $5,000 after they apply for them to help
drop
make
in
videos.
the bucket.
It's okay. $5,000.
Yes,
I could
it
do.
Is significant. No, not 5. the 25 total
The 25 total.
is a drop in the bucket compared to what they could put into it.
Sure. Yes.
But $5,000 per person is substantial. 100%.
Yes. I would almost actually struggle to spend $5,000 in a
No, you
very mean. I know I wouldn't. But so I love Timothy
Okay,
just
sorry,
talking to
I
chat.
interrupted
No,
you.
I know what's interrupting me is I can't tell. I feel like Tim is only typing in chat just so he can get the number one. I gave him an achievement. He's like, "Can you explain the topic?" And it's like, I think you know what we're talking about. But anyways, it's LSS is giving $5,000 to 5 content creators after they apply for it, and there's a couple of guidelines they're looking for. But the point is to help promote content creators to potentially maybe want to get this in the future, but also just to
move to level up their game a little bit,
everyone,
give them a little extra motivation.
Mm-hmm. And I think
And
it's
a
really
few
good.
of them get some extra means that they may not have because the game isn't as big.
Mm-hmm.
And content creation doesn't pay out the way it does in Magic or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think a great example is like DM Armada made those 6-sleeve video. You haven't heard about this till now?
He doesn't watch the keynote. He just gets
doesn't watch the keynote?
The cliff notes. He just
Tim,
sees that they put cards up on the spoiler
gamer
spot.
alert. So I think it's this is okay. Yeah. So the I think so. What was I getting at? Yeah, I got way off track. I'm just going to start reading the points. The first thing that I'm going to read about this is like, this is not to supplement any income. It is motivation / supplies for a project. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is I think a great example for something to use it on is DM Armada's 6-sleeve card videos. If he could do more videos like that instead of once a year or once every other year, he'd do these more YouTube-y style 15-minute builds or whatever.
Yep. Project videos.
Then that would be a great way to supplement that kind of video, and also motivation for him to do it, because I feel like a lot of his motivation is like numbers, and the numbers videos are just the like weekly updates to Flesh and Blood that everyone tunes in for DM Armada, right? He might not want to spend the time or the money on those bigger videos. But I don't think it's to supplement any income, which is interesting because, and that's where I came up with this point, is there was a couple of people that I was hearing people and they're like, man, if I had $5,000 from LSS, I would just buy a new computer. I don't think that's what it's for. I don't think it's for that.
Most likely not. If it was to upgrade your graphics card and buy you editing software and buy you whatever other piece that actually lets you do the job better besides just buy a computer, sure. If you're buying a pre-built computer to do that,
maybe. But I feel like you're also gonna I feel like there's more you should. Don't spend all 5,000 on that, right? Like
the Flesh and Blood side of that is not getting all of that money.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah. They're not getting their. It's weird to say because it's a grant, but they're not getting their money worth out of giving you $5,000 probably, right? They want you to make good videos, and they want the money to go directly towards making the good videos. There's some things that are like supplies for videos, but then there's some things that are just like, well, it'd be really nice if I just had this thing, and it's loosely related.
Premiere for a year.
Yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Don't get Adobe. Listen, if there's an Adobe product out there that you want, let me know, because I will tell you the better version, in some cases better quality version of something that you could just probably buy once and never need to buy again. Which is honestly, that's one of the things, like if I got it, I would ask for is like, DaVinci Resolve just has like I don't know, I think it's like a $60 version. You pay $60 once, you get free updates for life. And it's like, that sounds awesome. The next point is there is On TCG Talks, if TCG Talk is still here, he has a Google document of content creators so that if you are looking for a specific type of content, you don't know where to find it. Let's say you're getting into Flesh and Blood, you played the Ira deck, you bought the Prism LL deck, and you're like, wow, this is really fun. Oh, there's a CC version. I really want to know how to play this new Prism. You could go on there and like try to find a Prism expert on that list. Is there a Prism expert on that list?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know if there is one either, but Kevin is one if you wanted to check out Smurf Fab on YouTube. However, the point being is on that list of content creators, there's 198 people or 198 channels or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's just the ones that he's compiled onto the document. That's a healthy number of content creators. Like, I mean, some people might say that's not many, but also like that it is a lot in the sense
relative to the size of the game. That's actually like a lot.
It is a lot. And I feel like, so I have a Discord that I also help run, which is the Fab Content Tech Help Discord. And I feel like there's new people popping in every week who are just like, hey, I'm getting into Flesh and Blood. I thought I would do some content, make a couple of videos. Could I get some help with this? And that feels like it's happening every week. But the thing is, for this grant, 5 people get $5,000. 5 content creators. This document has almost 200. There's probably 400, 500 content creators out there just because there's a bunch of people who aren't on that list. Only 5 are going to get the grants, though, or be asked to get the grant or however. And in that sense, not everyone's going to get it. I feel like there's a lot of people, especially on Bluesky or Twitter, of people who especially in like TCG or hobby communities can get a lot of FOMO for stuff or can get jealousy for some things. And if only 5 people are going to get these content grants, like most people aren't going to get it. Most channels are not going to get it. And I think that's fine. And I think they need to keep that in perspective, that this is, of LSS's discretion, out of the goodness of their heart. You also need to apply for it, and you also need to make it kind of worth their while. Right?
LSS. So if I recall correctly, LSS is going to pick people who can apply for it.
Yeah.
So you may not even be chosen to apply for it.
Yes. And so I think a lot of people maybe need to keep that in mind when they see that other people are getting these grants or hear about other people getting these grants and they don't get it themselves. It's probably nothing about you specifically, or LSS hates you, or the things that you do. There's just a ton of channels.
Already.
I've seen it. I've seen people who are just like, I think so-and-so, these 5 channels, some people are saying these 5 channels are the biggest channels. They're going to get the money. And now a channel like me won't be able to get the money. And it's like, bruh, 1, with that attitude, no. 2, there's a lot of people who are going to be in that situation.
Yes. You're not special because you didn't get the money.
Yeah, it's not a slight against you. It's also not like something that LSS needs to do for you either. They're a private company that they could do whatever they can do anything they want. Thank you, Tim.
Yes.
Well done. Well put. This is not a privilege handed out to people. Kind of like spoiler cards, actually.
Well,
it's not like
it is a privilege.
Maybe it's not like let me rephrase that. It's not something they have to give you. I have done a certain amount of content this year. I demand a spoiler card.
You do not earn a spoiler card just because you have made content.
Yes.
You do not earn the grant just because you have made content.
Yeah.
That is not the bar for LSS to give you these things. Mm-hmm. The bar is whatever they set it to be. And if their bar is unreasonable, then we can have that discussion. But
or if the bar is like the bar being unreasonable is an interesting discussion, but we don't know who they've picked yet either,
we need to actually see who gets it to figure out if we can figure out where the bar is, because we don't know exactly where it is.
So
nobody gets this just because they have made
Clark.
content.
We're talking about you indirectly. We're talking about content creators. We're talking about the content grants. And I'm bringing up a couple of points, and you might have to go back and see some of them because I think they're interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and get to the next point, which is they gave a couple of guidelines, like very loose, vague 4 bullet points on which are they're vague on purpose because they're going to interpret it how they want to interpret it. But I think the guidelines still kind of point in a direction that is very obvious for people to see of these kind of channels are going to be asked to apply for the grants.
I think so.
And I was going to bring up the points. I have. Okay, so here are like, these aren't the points exactly. This is like the loose idea of the points. Real quick. Demonstrated commitment to Flesh and Blood content creation, potential for growth and impact, creativity and originality, and contribution to the Flesh and Blood community. What were you saying?
I was going to say we do these one at a time, but
I was just going to read them off real quick.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I feel like there's very specifically channels, as much as you could say that this is not something that is deserved for you for making content, I think these guidelines point that there's certain channels they aren't looking to give the money to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will put it slightly differently there are certain channels where this money will not substantially impact or upgrade the abilities of that content creator.
Yeah.
And I think like I'm an example of that.
I would not say that out loud, but you can.
No, I'm going to admit it. Like the money is not that amount of money does not substantially change the quality of my content, how much content I put out, any of that.
Actually, do we want to talk about that for a quick second before we go to the points? Like it's $5,000, and you said that's just a little drop in the bucket earlier.
The $25,000 total is a drop in the bucket for LSS's budget.
Yes.
It's when they just put up 100 and whatever thousand for player of the year that we all know is Brody anyways, even though he got a suspension. Some people have issues with that.
I don't.
I would have an issue with them changing the rules in the middle of the competition. So like it's fine.
That's fair.
I don't like it, but it's
true.
Fine. But like $25,000 total is a drop in the bucket for LSS. $5,000 for some of these individuals is massive.
Okay, how about for you?
That is not the bottleneck for my content. That $5,000 would not substantially change my situation or the quality of content or how much I can put out, because the amount of money that I need to change the amount of content that I put out is I need to be able to quit my job.
Yeah. You what? You can't quit your job on $5,000?
My bottleneck is not money. My bottleneck is time.
Yes, and LSS.
They cannot give me an extra 20 hours in the week.
Yes.
To make more content and play more Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
So the $5,000.
They just like de-incentivize you to go professional at Flesh and Blood, and then you have all that time. You mean
they don't let me play PQs?
They hire you.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Then you can't play in events.
I would need a yearly salary.
Yeah,
like exactly. That is the amount of money. That is why $5,000 for me doesn't substantially change anything for me. It doesn't allow me to do something that I couldn't do before. Mm-hmm. But
I said it first, Kevin.
No, you did not, Tim. You did not. But it's like I think that's like a decent. My channel and my situation is not uncommon in Flesh and Blood, in the Flesh and Blood sphere.
So
and part of that is that I can't bridge a part-time content creator thing into a full-time content creator thing because the game isn't big enough.
True. Yes.
But $5,000 doesn't fix that.
True. Because
you don't just buy another 2 million players with that.
Yes, exactly.
So
or they would have. That's what they would have spent. If you could buy 2 million players on 5,000, that's where the money goes. So the interesting thing is, for me, and okay, actually, I'll back up a second. At no point am I arguing during any of this that I should get the money. I don't want that to be the case. I understand some people think I should get the money. I don't want to argue that.
I do.
That's up to LSS, and I don't care. If I've gotten spoiler cards before. I've worked with LSS before. I'm fine with that, and I love the time that I got to do that. And if I get to do it again, that would be awesome, and I'm 100% down for it. So I'm not begging for $5,000, but I will say if I had $5,000, one, my budget, like to live as a human being, is I don't get as much budget from life as like Kevin does. So having $5,000 would make doing content easier, not only in the sense of like, well, now I feel like I can just like short some of this hobby's other thing.
You don't have to budget.
I can do it.
You don't have to budget your real life.
Yes. Yeah.
To do flesh and blood content creation.
Yeah.
I don't have to budget my flesh and blood content creation because I could just buy whatever piece I need because I make enough money to do so.
Yes.
Because I buying this microphone is no issue. Buying the light is no issue. Replacing my laptop is no issue.
And all of the stuff that you've just named, I also have with Table Pit money, right?
Yes.
Through the Table Pit, I was able to accrue a lot of those
over
things.
The last
Patreon,
3 years or whatever.
And so like the money would 100% help. It also helps with like the project videos because some of the projects were made out of cardboard that I would have made with wood, but I go to Home Depot, the wood is like $20, and I'm like, dang, I didn't know wood was $20. I already ate out for lunch this week, so I guess I'll have to just wait on it or make it out of cardboard.
But like these are the things that like, this is the stuff, the amount of money can actually improve.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you get to do more of your project videos. DM Armada gets to do more of his project videos. People maybe get to do more like tournament vlogs because they get mobile setups.
True.
They get to do more gameplay stuff because they get an actual setup to do gameplay recordings and stuff. Like,
get a lot of,
these are the things that this amount of money will enable people to do.
It also I think also we did bring up that it's like motivation. If LSS gave me $5,000, I would. Like there are hobbies that I'm scooting out of the way to like focus on content a little more over those weeks, right? So it's like I'm playing less Talishar as soon as I get home and I'm editing that video for a little bit more or something like that, right? Like the hobby focuses are content creation more. It reels me into the hobby a little more. All right, now on to those points that like I brought up like 20 minutes ago. Demonstrate commitment to flesh and blood content creation. I think this point mainly just says that it's not for TCG generic content.
I think it is primarily flesh and blood first.
Yes.
If you do other stuff, they're fine with it, but like flesh and blood is your main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that money is spent on flesh and blood. If you have another channel, fine.
Yeah.
But this is going towards flesh and blood content.
Yeah, so like if half of your content is another TCG and the money also goes to support half of that content being another TCG, it's kind of like LSS is supporting that other TCG. I mean, that's a stretch. But
that's not what they're going to look to do with this small amount of money for them.
The next point was I'm just now reading the chat where everyone's like, you should get the money. Thank you, guys. I'm going to let LSS decide that. Frick.
Yep.
Potential for growth and impact. This is, I think, an interestingly like large one, right? I think
that's so vague.
It's so vague, but also it's like you just kind of feel like there's like a feeling of like, yeah, I think I know what you're trying to say there, and it's like,
are you trying to say this person could go viral?
No, like what I'm trying to say is like I think I think who it's not. Who doesn't have potential for growth or impact are people who are, and this is a little, I'm not talking about anybody in specific, right? So it's just people who are stuck in a rut.
Sure.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily, right? So like there are podcasts where they go over very similar stuff week over week, but that's their content. That's what they put out. A lot of people. Are you pointing at yourself? Are you pointing at this? Yeah, Pit Against is definitely one of them, right? So it's like this is a thing. It's really interesting. There's a lot.
We have our thing, but we've continued to do it, and we haven't really pushed on. on
Yeah,
it
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think unless like LSS is just like we want to give $5,000 to the table pit, specifically pit against. We want y'all to do like a live setup. That would be funny, but I think that would be like the next weird big step for this, which is like I don't think that's the point. I think it's so I think potential for growth and impact implies not people who are like stuck in a rut doing the thing that they're good at. Not that that's a bad thing. Okay, go ahead.
It was the 3 floating group in their episode 5 to 10 range.
What do you mean when you say that?
Like people watched 3 floating very early on, and it was like very clear they were just doing this on their own with like very minimal resources. And you watch like episode 5 through 10, it's like, okay, but there is something here. They keep doing it. It's still continuing to be good.
They have potential for growth and impact. Yes. 100%.
What if they just pushed it a little bit more? It was 3 floating at that point.
Yes.
Not where they are now.
Not where they're now.
Sam's work is whatever director
works for LSS.
And Aiden is also videographer for LSS.
Contracted for
event.
LSS.
And then Jacob is still doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not this. Yes, it's not this 3 floating.
Yes.
It's 3 floating, 5 videos.
Those people have potential for growth and impact. But I also think it is, and this is something I feel like if you're listening to this and you're a content creator and you're wondering if I'm talking about you, you're the one who has to do the soul searching on this. It's not nobody's. It's not the channel with 10 subscribers.
No, because you will get some number of subscribers if you're doing stuff right.
Yes, you may not have a foundation to stand on before you can grow. You've arguably probably not made enough videos to know what kind of videos you want to make, how you want to make. You're still learning the content game, and
most likely
your biggest level ups are like fundamentals, right? So I think it's probably not those people. And again, these are all like super vague points. This
is a weird middle ground of this is not the people who are just like, oh, maybe I want to do content creation. It's like, no, these are people who have found the thing they want to do and have not been able to take that next step. Yeah. Like 3 floating has.
Yeah. The next one is creativity and originality.
Again, this is people who have found their thing and they have garnered some attention because they are doing something unique or different.
Unique or different is pretty interesting because it's probably not. I mean, what are the biggest things of Flesh and Blood on YouTube? It's competitive podcasts. I feel like it's like the number one thing. Like if you want Flesh and Blood content, 80% of it is competitive podcasts. Gameplay videos on Talishar, Deck Techs.
None of the like those all do fine.
Sure.
But then it's like VODs from tournaments or like the next or like the actual thing is like actual tournaments.
Oh, you mean like on Fab TCG?
On YouTube. No, just like YouTube of just like AGE is running their tournaments.
Oh,
or
yes.
whatever store is running their tournaments. How to Get Betters are also
How to Get
there.
Better. I think those are actually
those
maybe more interesting. And probably
100%.
Can fit under creativity and originality.
All about how to get better. Probably.
Yeah. Also, that's the ones that people are eating up the most. There's so many new people. They just want to know how to not lose at their armory.
Yes, because this game is hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. And also it leads to people being more the people who want to play it all the time are more competitive. It leads to more competitive podcasts. People want to listen to that as well. So, I mean, that explains why that's there. So, the last point is contribution to the Flesh and Blood community. I think there's like the base expectation of this term is like they actually do something outside of just put out YouTube videos. But I think the part that I read into, go ahead.
I think this is League That Means Nothing.
Oh,
this is
Az,
and what he's doing there. This is Rainbow Pitch League
community,
where they're putting out videos from these events, and Az does podcasts and stuff, but like they're running leagues. for this community.
He's getting people wrapped up into leagues. He's also getting people wrapped up into casting words, right? There's a bunch of people who are not like, they wouldn't describe themselves as a caster, but they're like casting these games, and that's great.
Yeah.
And it really, it's more than just putting out a video. You are interacting with people within the community and giving them something great.
Yeah, and I think also then, like, you see people like Mara, who has run her Discord since she started her Patreon almost 2.5 years ago, where it was just Draw My Stuff, and now she has a channel for every single hero in the game. And, like, that's almost basically the Discord that I am using as my Discord to go with my content.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of people who have watched my content happen to also be in that Discord, or they're just in Purple, and then I talk to them. But it's like the people who run Purple.
Oh, the people who run Purple? The people who run Talishar?
The people who run Talishar. But
hot take, I think the people who run Talishar should get some money, but also I understand why they absolutely won't.
I think they won't for 2 reasons, and the first is the one you expect, and the second is that amount of money would not substantially change their situation.
Yeah. True.
They probably need significantly more than that on a yearly basis to change their situation. I'm just guessing. I'm not 100% sure.
I think...
Like,
go ahead.
This is people who have gone that extra step beyond the videos, and I think this is also another reason that I'm not a good fit for this. Because I haven't... Yes, I made the videos and I put them out, and they're... I don't paywall any of my stuff, any of my guides or content, anything that's in the...
I mean, you don't have to paywall the stuff.
But it's like that doesn't count as doing something for the community.
Sure.
In my mind.
Okay. I think it's interesting because when I watch your videos or sometimes read through the comments, it feels like there's a community. There's people who are just like, I'm really into Prism, and I just want to hear you talk about Prism and ask dumb questions about Prism, and I love that.
Yes, but that's not the same as giving people a space where they feel like they necessarily... I have not done this with the intent to build a community where there is a Discord where you can hang out and talk to people and be social. I'm not trying to do this with some I actively avoided making. I think
social is a really good word there, right? Like you're doing something more social in the space.
Yes,
which is
that's like the piece that comes to mind of you're giving back to the community, which even Manorcast, when it was a thing, would frequently... I know for the first Rainbow Pitch League, it donated the prize for 9th was coaching with Hamilton.
For 9th? That's cool. That's cool, actually.
Yes, and it's a little cheeky.
I love it though. I love that so much.
I don't know who assigned it actually to 9th. They might not have. They might not have
done it. That's still funny.
That might have been Rainbow.
Imagine,
I don't know which
imagine
side
like
did
they're like,
but
hey, we can donate Michael Hamilton coaching, and then like the people at the pitch are just like, you know who needs it? That person who got 9th.
Roger would be like,
funny.
yes,
do it. That would be so funny.
But that kind of thing is that's a bit of giving back to the community that isn't necessarily making that Discord that social space. But League That Means Nothing and Rainbow Pitch are the big
would shout out specifically I already mentioned it, the Fab Content Tech Help Discord, which has a bit of a community to it, and it's me and a couple other people Whippy and Greg, Darth Prentice, and
Greg is fantastic.
And Scowling Fleshbag are all working to make sure that Discord's running smoothly, and that it's weirdly that's the only Flesh and Blood Discord other than the team Discord that I go into. This one, the one for Pit Against, and that one, it's like a little community of the content creators of Flesh and Blood, and I love that. And I think also if I read into the statement of contribution to the Flesh and Blood community, if I read into it super hard, what I also get is it's not very negative content creators. Like if there's a
No,
content
it's-
creator who's just like, LSS have screwed up again this time, but like that's every single video they make is like,
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood sucks, or if Flesh and Blood is dying, or whatever. It's like, I don't know what you're expecting. Two, it's like, it's just maybe a bit too negative, and you are not contributing positively to the Flesh and Blood community.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I've done it. Unless there's more to talk about, I've done my content creation rant bit of things that I've heard people talking about on Bluesky and other channels.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I wish they had more grants, maybe at lesser amounts, where if it was like $50,000, but there was 20 of them, so it's 2.5 each. Like, I'd be curious to see what that looks like.
I'm curious what the people from this first go around spend $5,000 on, which is probably not public.
I think that's going to be important for them.
It might not be public, but I don't know.
It won't necessarily be public, but I'm pretty sure it is something that you will have to report back to LSS on.
Yes,
100%. That is, when I was in grad school, every grant we had from every organization required a yearly report of what were your goals at the beginning of the year, at 6 months, and then what did you accomplish at the end, and what did you spend everything on, and if you're going into year 2 or year 3, what are your like new adjusted goals? What does the project timeline look like? Like, you had to do a full report every year for every grant you had, and part of that was accounting for the money they gave you. So
I feel like they're going to have something similar, maybe not as extreme, but something similar. They want to know that their $5,000 are well spent.
Yes.
And I think it also kind of like
this is a trial run.
This is a trial run. If
These
they give it to some people and they're
everybody.
just like, I don't know, I want to, you gave me the money, I said I was going to do it with this, I upgraded my computer, and then I didn't get around to doing this, and I didn't get around to doing that.
I put out the same amount of content at the same quality.
Yeah, I think it's going to feel bad. I think it's not going to go well. And it might slow for people in the future, but I think that's fine. I think, I don't know. I'm interested in what happens regardless of who gets it. This is just something I'm really interested to see what happens. I have a lot of opinions on it. But I think that mostly wraps it up. Kevin, do you have anything else you wanted to go over?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. What's Kevin shout outs? When's your next video? When's your spoiler card again?
I'm gonna see if I can get a video out tomorrow. Because I want to try and get the VOD reviews out a little bit quicker. I did get a little bit of feedback from somebody in the community recently asking that those go out a little bit closer to the event. I think especially
it makes sense.
The London ones, I had 2 videos go out as heroes were LLing, which is just like not useful. Entirely.
Yeah. A lot of the views definitely come immediately, right? Especially for VOD reviews. It's like
trying to work on that. And then I'll have a Kansas City tournament report next week. Assuming it's not a total bomb, which I don't think it will be. I think it'll be fine.
You're gonna win.
Or
if not, you're gonna come in second to my other co-host, Wyatt.
Okay, him and Austin are a little egoed up about that stuff, but
let's go.
Whatever. And then I should have a simulation video that I can hopefully get out sometime next week, but it's been taking longer than I thought. As with any other research project, you say it's going to take 2 weeks and it ends up taking 2 months. So
there's a great quote that someone used to describe an engineer once, and they were like, "This man is perfect at being able to get you exactly what you want. Just double the amount of time they say it takes to do it."
Double is generous. Like,
that.
We had a meme hanging up in the lab in grad school, which was just like, all right, I have all the data. It's time to do analysis for my project. I need more data. All right, it's time to do analysis for my project. I need more data.
That's great.
And it was just a circle with 2 points.
I love that.
And it was
only 2 points. That's funny.
The last 3 years of your PhD. And it
that
100%
so
was.
much. Oh, that's so good. All right. Remember to go check out our merch at the tablepit-shop.fourthwall.com, where you can get shirts that say things like, I comply with Rule 4.5.3a of the Flesh and Blood Comprehensive Rules safely, often, and extremely well. Or hats like this. I got one that has the table pit on it.
I have my shirt somewhere. I'll wear it in Kansas City.
Heck yes. Gotta rep the team jersey. And if you want to help make this stream look nicer and help get supplies for our project videos when LSS does not give me $5,000, you can support us at patreon.com/thetablepit. I genuinely use the money. We use the money from that Patreon to buy a large amount of the stuff that the Table Pit has like accrued over the years. And it has helped out a ton, making our stuff better. But you always need more data. Thank you so much for watching. We do this every Thursday, except for, we're doing it this Thursday. The thing that we're skipping is no blocks this week because Wyatt is getting in second place at Kansas City to Kevin. Which no blocks is a chilled Tower Star stream we normally do on Saturday mornings, but he's going to be off winning an event. Getting second at an event. And we also have the design table, a chill Flesh and Blood themed art show on 1 p.m. on Saturdays, which I think we are going to do. So we are doing art this weekend. Flesh and Blood art. So I think that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.